What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of Club 50 Sports. It's your boy, A Dub. I know y'all excited, but look at who I got over here. I know y'all even more excited for my man, Manny C. Let's do it. What is going on? Talk to your people, Manny. What is going on?
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Wish everybody a wonderful, blessed 2024. By the way, again, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, as we're gonna be here every single week. We're gonna try our best to be here every single week, guys. With
All
that
right, all
note,
right.
let's get going to our first
You
topic.
heard the man. Let's do this. And we're gonna start. We're gonna start with your fins, man. We're gonna start with your fins. Fins up, fins down, whatever. Were the Dolphins exposed or are the Ravens this good, Manny? I want your thoughts on the game, and then you can go ahead and give me the answer to your question, or you can do it all in one. Talk to me.
Man. Lamar Jackson, man, he's just unstoppable, man. Um, no matter like why you throw at him, he was just sensational, man. Five touchdown passes. Can't do much about that, man. Fangio tried everything. He tried man coverage. He tried zone. He tried everything. What really also hurt us was that Xavier Howard got injured like very early in the game, like in the fourth quarter. That didn't help the cause. As a smart quarterback would do, if the backup comes in, I want to go and cook the backup quarter at the backup corner. That's what basically happened. You know, the Dolphins also had their share of mistakes. We were in at the ball good. The Dolphins actually we hit the average. We hit 154 yards rushing, which that's what we basically averaged during the season. But again, the defense cannot get out of the field. Like Lamar Jackson had his way with us. We couldn't put any pressure. That they just did a great job blocking up front, and the Ravens ran the ball effectively well. And guess what happens, man? When you don't get home as at the end, then guess what? Lamar is gonna run. He will scramble for some yards. Um, The offense also didn't do. They did a poor job. We dropped like three crucial touchdown passes, the potential crucial passes that could have changed a little bit the complexion of the game. I said a
Absolutely,
little bit,
absolutely.
but three touchdown passes is 21 points that you left on the board. And I'm sorry, but against the Ravens, you cannot score field goals against the Ravens. Like Adam, that cannot happen. You need to take advantage of the opportunities that you have in front of you. And I don't think that the Dolphins did. The wide receivers will play great for the Ravens. Like Zay Flowers had a very good game. ODB also and their tight end. That kid is looking pretty good, man. I think there's someone to trade for him in the offseason because that kid is a very good tight end. I like that kid. I like him, and he was a factor to us. Another thing that I think McDaniels could have done better as a play caller is not send so much receivers to the middle of the field. In one of those picks that Tua threw, there were two guys like in the same facility of the field, and I sure did not like that. I don't like throwing in the middle of the field too much because good things are not going to happen. I don't. Been watching this game for too long, man. Things are Good things are not going to happen. Throwing to the middle. So McDaniel needs to make it a thing that he needs to throw more to the outside, make like more like outside routes, and not so much like at the middle because people are picking up on that. He likes to use a lot the middle of the field, and DCs are picking up on that. What do you think?
I'm gonna tell you this. Um, that Baltimore defense looks really, really good. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
gonna say. Um, I don't even think Hamilton played this game, did he? Kyle
N-
Hamilton, number 14, was not out there.
No, no, and neither was Lattimore. I mean, what's his name? The one of the corners. He didn't play. Humphrey,
Uh,
Marlon Humphrey. There you go. kid.
Correct. Marlon Humphrey also did not. That defense looked terrifying. Okay, Roquan Smith, Patrick
And the other
Queen,
Quater Queen,
my
very good
guy,
linebackers, my friend.
my guy. This almost looks like old school Baltimore, but the offense looks like it's on steroids. Okay, this doesn't
100%.
look like Trent Dilfer back there. No, no. This looks like the next coming of Michael Vick back there, and it's terrifying. I'm going to say right now, the Dolphins. I'll answer the question. The Dolphins weren't exposed. This Baltimore team is legit.
Yeah.
The AFC will be running through Baltimore, and the way that Lamar is seeing the game right now,
It's just slow down for him too much, man. It's just slow down. Again, you cannot scheme up anything against that guy because if you put quarterback spy, that's not gonna work. If you go man-on-man coverage, that's not gonna work. If you go zone like we do a lot, we're gonna go. They're gonna like. It's just not gonna work. Like you just have to. The best way I think, Adam, for anyone to beat the Ravens is you need to run the ball effectively and win time of possession.
100%.
So you could keep Lamar Jackson on the sideline. That is for right now the best way that I recommend someone beating the Baltimore Ravens today. And of course, you need to run the ball heavily, and I mean heavily against I mean, try to run because this team
not
is
easy.
also good at stopping the run, though.
Not
They're also
easy.
very good too.
That's what I'm saying. It's not easy. It's not easy.
And the thing is, what I'm thinking here, Adam, is their linebacking play is top notch because remember in the OA Ravens, we had a Nata in the middle, this 330-pound elephant in the middle, like stopping the run. Who in the world right now in the Ravens is a D tackle and a name D tackle, a known commodity name right now playing? Dude, their linebacking play is what's doing the job for this defense. I have come to realize this is the people that are doing the work for that defense. The linebackers, the corners, and the safeties. They're doing a phenomenal job, my friend. That's it. As you saw what happened to Brock Purdy last week, who got picked up a little 5 times. I remember that.
And also got booted out of the MVP race in one season by the Ravens. He has no chance.
So let me ask you this, Adam. To close out this segment, do you agree that Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback right now in the NFL as we stand today? Today, based on this season, do you think?
Well, again, if you've got two eyes, I don't see how we're talking about anybody else. If you've got two eyes, and I'm not talking statistics, I'm talking about winning. I'm talking about a guy who has the ability to impact his team when it comes to winning, a guy who just seems to have what he wants to do with this offense all figured out. If you have two eyes, I don't think that there's another quarterback in the league right now that you're talking about in the same sentence with Lamar Jackson. I'm talking to Josh Allen's, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, yeah.
There's a quarterback right now playing at the level that Lamar Jackson is playing at. And like I said, if you can see, then you see what I see. And what I see is a quarterback who's just
the best quarterback today in the NFL. That is hands down. Now, what I want to see now is how he performs in the playoffs. Because as me and you know, he does tend to struggle in the playoffs. And us, we will be looking forward and we'll be breaking down some film going into the playoffs to see how he looks in the playoffs. That's what I'm dying to see. Now, I heard like today in the radio about people were asking in the radio show whether John Harbaugh should rest the starters or play them at least one quarter coming up this week. Because remember, if you don't play now, next week, you're going to have a 3-week layoff. What will you do? Will you play a little bit the starters coming up next week, or you will take that rest for 3 weeks?
In all honesty, these are professional players. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't see how a quarter necessarily helps them. They're already in midseason form. These guys understand how to tackle. These are professional players who already have their lungs at where they need to be at this level of competition. I don't really see anything you get out of playing them, even for one quarter, to be quite honest. You do that during the preseason just so they can get acclimated to the speed. These guys are already 17 weeks in, 16 weeks worth of actual play, actual like game time. I don't see anything. Give them the 2 weeks off, in all honesty. Practices and all of that stuff. Yeah, you know what? Those should be continuing when it comes to film room. That should continue. But a quarter, what are we going to – I see more risk in that than anything else.
Okay.
I don't know what
All right.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that. You know what I mean? Whether or not playing
The
them
thing is,
kind of
there have been a lot of us, for at least us watching for 30 years. There's been a lot of teams that have choked up the number one seed for resting like the starters. You know, but it's all remember like that. These people are not going to hit. You know about hitting, right? Because you know from your days of coaching, Pee Wee. So that is what I worry about, Adam. Like you need to hit, you need to be. But I do understand Adrian concerns with going back to this game. Disappointed with Mike McDaniels before we go on to the next segment. If your team is getting blown out, Mike McDaniels for the future, you cannot be playing starters late in the fourth quarter. They need to be at home. They need to be on the sideline.
You're gonna get them hurt.
That is a ridiculous. Yes, you came on the radio, on the news and on the papers, and you say, "Oh no, but they want to play because that's their game." I understand that they want to play, but we are trying to prevent injury. And we are playing now for the playoffs. We're not playing no more like in preseason games. Like this is not preseason games. If you're getting blown out
in that game, you were not playing to win. That game.
No, that's it. Like we had a game. We had to plan for the Bills. On to the Bills. Let's go. You know what, Bradley Chubb, come out the game. Christian Wilkins come out. Xavier come out. Ramsey come out. Yeah. We are gonna go on to the Bills next week. Okay, yeah, if that game is out of reach, that's it.
Bring out the
big mistake.
Bring out the white flags. You gotta bring out those white flags.
And I definitely think that he forgot to throw out the white flag. And then Bradley Chubb gets injured and out for a whole year.
And that's why I say with playing them for one quarter, we saw Aaron Rodgers get hurt in 4 plays. Do you want that to happen to your quarterback? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because when those guys go out there and play, they go and they play. They don't play soft, they just play. And you could open yourself up to injuries. So me personally, I say leave him on the bench. Leave him on the bench. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. I'm over here clicking on all sorts of stuff, can't get it right. So as you saw in the ticker, the Lions get robbed in this game. This was a close game. This is 2 playoff opponents.
Yeah.
This is 2 teams that are going to the playoffs. We saw something happen at the very end. I honestly thought that the Cowboys lost the game once I saw that the score was 21-20. And then I saw 2 points get taken off of the board. I saw the referee come out, and he had something to say regarding a tackle or an offensive lineman not saying he was eligible. What do you think about it? What do you think about the game? What do you think about the last call? What's up?
I definitely think that Lions should have won this game. The Cowboys didn't do anything to impress me. Only but CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had a great game. He was 227 yards and a score. He had a great game. But other than that, Dak Prescott 26 for 38, I mean, 245 yards with 2 touchdowns. But he ain't throwing no 3 or 4 touchdown here. I like the kid from Detroit, man, Aiden Hutchinson, man. That guy was putting mad pressure on Prescott, though. Michael Parsons, in the other hand, he completely disappeared. And this is what worries me about the Cowboys during the playoffs. This will, I mean, mad props for the Cowboys on winning that division because, I mean, what can I say? I mean, they're a good team, yes, but also the Eagles, which we're going to talk about later on in the show, they completely collapsed, dude. It's a colossal what that team has done as of late.
But the Cowboys still have not won the division yet, and the Eagles
How are they
still
going to win the
have.
division? They're going to be Washington. They're going to be Washington, and they're going to host a playoff game. I think they'll win a playoff game at home. I think I'm going to say I will think so that they're going to play. I expect them to win. Expect them. Now, if they go against the Rams, I might be walking back on those words. I might be walking back if they go against the Rams. So let's hope they draw an okay team, like a lower tier team. But like I don't see them being the Rams, man. It might be a very close game, but we'll see. We'll see. But I think that the Lions. I agree with Dan Campbell by going for it because let's just think about this, dude. Dan Campbell knew that he was not going to get the first seed. Let's just be honest, dude. Look, it, let's just.
Yeah,
In my opinion, Campbell was playing for the win, and he wanted to win early in the game, and I don't blame him. Now, I will say this: if the Lions did have the first seed in the playoffs locked in, he would have played for the overtime. And let's see what could have happened. Let's just put our luck in overtime. But like, what does he have to lose? He already has a playoff berth secure as it is.
yeah.
What do you have to
They
lose?
won the division. In all honesty, the analytics lean towards doing this anyways. I'm gonna be
People
honest.
say, "Oh no, the field goal." Why?
The, ex-
What for?
no, well, the extra again in the '90s. I'll tell you right now, it would have been a extra point for sure. That wouldn't have
Yeah.
even been a question in the early 2000s. But the way that the analytics work right now, the analytics are always going to tell you to play less football and go for the win. It's always going to tell you that because 2 yards away from a win is a lot different from 75 yards away from a win. So when
100%.
the analytics say go for it, they're saying go for the win. Go for the win. You're 2 yards away. Do you not have a play in your playbook in that playbook to get me 2 yards? Can you give me 2 yards? And most teams believe the answer is yes. I have a play here that can get us 2 yards. And most teams are going to run that play. Lions being on the road, that leans even more towards get the victory and let's get the
And get out of there.
We don't want to go to overtime. Why are we going to do that? We're 2 yards away from winning. Let's go for 2 and let's go home. The way that I saw this play at the end, I saw number 68 go towards the referee.
Mhm.
It looked like he was going to report. It doesn't look like there was any acknowledgement at all from the referee in his direction. I understand that he was trying to like low key play it like, hey, I'm eligible. But the referee is supposed to go over and tell the defense. Technically, the
Right.
referee is supposed
Correct.
to come over and tell everybody.
Correct.
It's
Yes.
supposed to come onto their mic and say, number 68 has reported as eligible. So it's not just a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise to the defense, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody in the building if you know anything about football, because the referee comes on the PA system
So,
and says 68
number 68 is eligible.
eligible. You don't hear that?
No,
You
and
gotta
at least the referee, I read in an article today that he came out and he did say that they messed up, that he messed up, that he should have called it in. Like So
So he's
that
saying
the evidence is there that the
so,
ref came out and said, "I
so hold
messed
on.
up, dude."
He's saying that he heard him.
Yeah, he heard him. Yeah, he heard him. Like I said, like, you know what? I messed up. I should have had told the defense. I'm like, hey, this guy is eligible. You know, like he's reporting eligible to. And I'm like, okay, but you should have done the game. You should have done that
Right.
rather
From
than
from
they
what
had
I
the
saw,
Cowboys winning.
from what I saw, it didn't look like he acknowledged him at all. It didn't look like he
No,
realized.
maybe okay. So maybe he didn't have acknowledged him, but like he heard him. He heard him say, "Hey, I, I am eligible." Now, maybe he wasn't paying attention. Maybe it like he blew him off and said, "You know what? I don't care. You know, I wanna play." I'm like, well, he did say that. He did say that today. He did.
Okay. Yeah. So that, like I said, it was a really good game.
Yeah,
My
it was a good
opinion.
game.
I even as a Cowboys fan, I don't ever like to see a team get stripped of something because, of course, that could go both ways. You know what I mean? Because as a longtime fan, you don't ever want to see your team get stripped of something. Luckily, the good part about this is the Lions truly had nothing to gain by winning or losing this game.
No,
Had this been a determining factor for a division championship, they've already got that locked in. If it was that, then I think that this would have made a lot more headlines. Since the Lions are really playing for nothing, I don't think anybody really cares more. Maybe Philadelphia fans care because it impacts them. But I think anybody outside of Philadelphia doesn't really care because Detroit had really nothing to play for. And maybe that's the rigged National Football League where they're like, yo, we want the Cowboys to win the division, so we need them to win today. Who knows?
yeah.
But yeah, moving on. Moving on.
What we got coming up next,
What do we have coming up?
guys? Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button. Let's look at this, man. We're gonna be talking about different topics, man. We got today a little bit about NBA, NFL, a little bit of college football later that I'm gonna be addressing, and some baseball. So, guys, please stay tuned. Hit the like button, please.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Y'all heard the man. Do what he said. Thank you all for watching, by the way. Appreciate you guys supporting us. Thank you for coming out. So moving on to the next segment, we got Russell Wilson, who was benched.
Oof.
What message does this send to the team? It doesn't look good in Denver right now. It looks a little shaky to me.
My $1 million question that I have for this team and for the owners for Sean Payne, maybe not Sean Payne because he wasn't really the one who put the plug to trade all of those access for Russell Wilson, but what is ownership doing? Um, you're gonna bench him for injury clause that he has in his contract. I think you're sending the wrong message to the team.
Yep.
You're sending a very bad message, and I don't think Sean Payton has treated Russell Wilson with respect. I don't think he has it, and for a injury clause. So you're gonna. So why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do this like at the start of the season? Oh, because probably his play was not up to par to what they were. I bet you if the Broncos were 12-4, do you think that they would have benched him? I say no.
No.
I don't think so. What do you expect as owner? The John Walton, I think that's his name. Do you really expect for Russell Wilson to do good with this roster that he has on offense? Who does he have on offense? Like he doesn't even have a go-to receiver. He doesn't have no dogs on that squad.
Not
Jerry
at
Jeudy is
all.
not that good.
Not at all.
He has not lived up to his draft stock. Has not lived up to that draft stock. And then his other receiver gets injured for the whole season in training camp. He gets injured. So you expect him to win 10, 12, 11 games with this conference, with the schedule that they have played, and I think they gave this man a very, very wrong treatment, and I think he needs to get traded. I'm hoping that he gets traded and he does good on his next stop. He needs to leave Denver behind.
I would definitely, if I were him, I would definitely demand a trade, because this shows me that you're not interested in football. And I get it. You know what? We may not be in the hunt for the playoffs, but technically they are still kind of like lingering around for it. But to make a financial decision, to make just a purely financial decision that has nothing to do with football is a tall task, and that should go throughout everybody in that locker room as well. That should go for any free agent who's even thinking about going to Denver.
Signing.
Why? Because you might put something in my contract and you might make sure that I don't reach it just because it financially benefits you. That's not a good look. That's not a good look. Imagine if I'm a defensive end and I get an additional $8 million if I get to double-digit sacks, and then you just start pulling me out the game. Oh, yeah, come out the game. What? That does not look good
It
for
doesn't
me.
make no sense.
I signed a contract with an incentive that I intend to make. And I don't need you coming between me and my money and how I take care of my family. This game is not something that is forever. This is a very short window of time. And when you're manipulating contracts like that,
Yeah.
that's not a good thing.
And now, to be honest with you, also, I don't think Sean Payton has had a very good so far tenure with the Broncos. His play calling, I was watching that game, that Christmas game, at my family's house, my sister's house. That offense is very vanilla, my friend. My eye test showed me that Sean Payton is not that great of an offense of play caller. There's no movement in his offense. It's
There never was.
And that offense needs an accurate quarterback. All it needs is an accurate quarterback, a good running back, and one number one receiver. The Broncos don't have, I want to say, the wide receiver thing. Because I like Javante Williams. I like him.
Uh,
But he's not a bell cow, though. He's okay. He's okay. But no tight end. Because remember, he had a guy by the name of Jimmy Graham, a very young and great Jimmy Graham with New Orleans, who made a big difference in the middle of the field.
and let's not forget Marcus Colston.
And Marcus Colston.
Who was
These were household names that he doesn't have in Denver. And
and even back then, he also had a bell cow, Deuce McAllister. He's nobody to that was, you know what I mean? This guy could run the ball 30 times a game. Easy, no problem.
his offenses are based, Adam, off a play action fake. These are his offenses.
Which means you need to do what? Run the ball.
Run the ball. And I'm telling you, against the Patriots the other day, it looked very vanilla. The offense looked very vanilla. And I'm like, how do you expect Russell Wilson to be the savior and win you 12 games or 11 games?
I think he did good for what he has, to be honest with you. I think that he did pretty
People
good.
are like bashing Russell Wilson, saying that his career might be over, that he's a wash, that he's like on the decline. What talent does this man have on the outside to even throw a 15-yard out?
It's not good. It doesn't look good there. It doesn't look good there.
I mean, he looked okay with Tyler Lockett. He looked good with Metcalf over there in Seattle. So that guy is not he's not washed. He just needs weapons, just like every quarterback. He needs the weapons around him. That's it. And Denver has not done him any right. They haven't done anything, but they haven't done anything by that guy at all. At all. He needs to get out of here. He needs to go. He needs to go, man. He gotta go somewhere else.
I completely agree with that. I
I'm
completely
done.
agree with that. Like I said, at this point, I think that the Broncos should be ashamed of themselves. Like moving forward as an organization, this is just not a good way to treat anybody. I know that there's been some word about Russell Wilson and him not, performing to standards and all of those things. But the truth of the matter is this is just not good business. And in a game where everything is based on contracts and a lot of things are based on incentives, when you're coming between somebody and their ability to maximize the amount of money that they make based on their performance to get in their way, it's not a good look.
Not
That's
good
not
look. Not at all, Mr. Wilson.
a good But we'll go ahead and move on from that, and we'll ask this question. The Clippers have won 12 out of 14 games. They've been looking good. The four guys, the four superstar players have been playing fairly well. I know we were talking yesterday, and you were talking about how Kawhi is actually, he's showing up to work. You know what I mean? And
He's showing his
that's
availability to work. Like
that
I'm gonna clap it up for homie. I'm gonna clap
that's
it up for homie. I
that's
like him. I
that's what
like
you
him,
asked
but
for.
I hate him. I could hate him, but I like him a lot. When he's on, he's on. Like he's a great player. But like this, is the thing that I was telling you that it benefited them when they traded for Harden because this guy can take a little bit of the load with Paul George and Leonard out. He could take the load off of Leonard when he's absent. And he's a great player, man. I think the Clippers have a great chance to do some damage in the Western Conference. Dude, they have a great team, man. They got Norman Powell, they got Westbrook, they got Kawhi, they got George. I'm a little bit hectic about Zubac. They could use a better big man than him, but I think that Clippers have a very deep squad. If it wasn't because Kawhi getting injured last year in the playoffs, I think they would have been the Phoenix Suns in the playoff like last year. So I'm just hoping that they could stay healthy. What do you say about that?
I'll tell you this. When it comes to this team, I think that you've got four guys who have won nothing at this point. Um, I think that they're gelling really well. I think that that's happening for them. Um, and I think that if they can keep it up, they've got a really good chance to make a real push when it comes to just offensively. You're gonna. I think the other day they had like 144 points or something like that. It was a ridiculous amount.
They be putting up points. They could put up points, my friend. Oh yeah.
They they've been doing ridiculous things out there. So I'm gonna say this: if Kawhi can continue to
Be available.
when they say your best ability is your availability, right?
Correct.
So if he can continue to keep on coming to work, Paul George, if he continues to be, there was once a point where we thought that this guy was going to be the face of the league. Um, he needs to get back to being that guy. He's kind of faded to the wayside, and the only way that he's gonna be able to really etch his name anywhere is being, like I said, I think there was a time where we thought he was top 5 in the league.
I'm gonna
Could
say
still be
something,
that
man.
guy.
I'm gonna go as far as saying something. I think the pandemic year really messed up them having a chance to win a title because I think the Clippers were the best team that year in the NBA. Had the pandemic not happened, I really think that the Clippers should have won the NBA title because that team was so deep. They were so
That was
deep.
the year that they had what? Did they have
Reggie Jackson, they had Kawhi, they
they
had
had
Paul
Crowder in that
George.
team as well, right?
Who?
Crowder, didn't they have?
Crowder. They had no, not Crowder. They had Reggie Jackson. Who's the guy that plays for the Pat Beverly, who plays great defense? Reggie Jackson and Pat Bev. They were coming out. I think both are like out of the bench. Great. They were very good like that year. I think the pandemic really messed them up like mentally. They didn't want no part of the bubble. And Paul George has multiple times said that, like on articles that they were not engaged in the bubble. But I think because I saw games, late games with Dom and the Lakers, and they both beat the Lakers in those two games. They beat the Lakers. So
I, I get Paul George in that, but what does that mean? Like, you got to go out there and play ball. You're a professional. What was it that you did not want any parts of the bubble? The other thing is that also says something to me about your team, because when the bubble happened, the only people that you were able to like hang around with was your teammates. Now, if you haven't built a good enough rapport, if you haven't built a relationship with your teammates, then I can understand how the bubble might be a little bit more challenging for you as well. The Heat did well in the bubble because the Heat had really good team chemistry.
correct.
Maybe
Yes.
that was the reason why other teams did well. Also, maybe it's the reason why the Clippers wanted no parts of that. You know what I mean? It just, again, regardless of whether or not that's the case or not, I feel like you play basketball. I don't care if you have to play basketball on the moon. Be ready to play. That's your job. That's, you know what I mean? And then missing out on a great opportunity, I can understand. I see that as well. But if they missed out on that opportunity because it was a bubble, or I don't know. Like, sometimes you gotta be able to separate church from state. And I know that the world was in a crazy place at that point, but in all honesty, you gotta keep it moving.
That's true. That's true, man. That's true. That's true.
I I don't know how else to put it. But again, this team is looking good, and I hope they continue. Just for basketball's sake, I want to see Russell Westbrook do good. I want to see Kawhi Leonard do good. I want to see James Harden. I was
Get a ring finally.
yeah, I was just having a talk with one of my coworkers the other day, and they were like, "Hey, man, James Harden is looking like James Harden again." That they were worried. It's one of his favorite players, and he's like, "Man, I was worried that he didn't have it anymore." And I'm like, "Yeah, he has it somewhere deep down in there." The truth is that um, in this game, you gotta have a passion for it, and you gotta be able to dig deep. And sometimes you lose that. It seems like James Harden is coming back into his own, and hopefully they're able to do their thing and do well this season and build off that. So, um, yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties, by the way, but we're good. We're
It's
back.
okay, guys. It happens. It happens.
It's the business. All right, so moving on, we're going to stay in the association. Um, and the Knicks got a nice little victory over the Wolves, 112 to 106. Fairly close matchup, you know what I mean, in the association. That's not a blowout by any means. Um, what do you think this means for the New York Knicks? Is this a ticker? Is this something that moves the needle forward for them, or is it just one game out of 82? Talk to me.
Thing is that if only Julius Randle, man, can do this like almost every night. He dropped almost 40 points that that night against that Timberwolves, but he's very inconsistent, dude. He's just very inconsistent. One night he might give you 30, another night he might give you 15. And Bronson, I love Bronson. I think that has been like one of the best free agent signings that they have had in a long, long, long time as a franchise. But like the other guy, Barrett, I think that's it. Barrett. He hasn't
Yeah,
lived up to his
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett. I don't think he has lived up to his draft stock.
Absolutely not.
He's not by now. By now, I'm expecting him already. That by now he should have been already by 25 at 25 points already a night. 25 is not even there yet. Um, I like Hart a little bit, but I just don't think that they're there with the 76ers of the world, with the Heat of the world, the Milwaukee, Boston. I don't think they're there. Like it's gonna unless Randall and Barrett they don't become different playmakers, like more playmakers. Then I don't think they're not gonna go too far. I mean, don't make the playoffs. I mean, for sure, don't make the playoffs for sure. As a fifth seed, fifth maybe fourth, but deep playoff run, deep playoff run. I don't see it happening, man. I gotta see more. I gotta see more. I gotta see more
Absolutely.
this season.
I'm gonna be honest. We the Knicks don't deserve to be talked about at this point. The Knicks don't deserve to be talked about at this point. The Knicks have a lot of growing to do when it comes to this. There, as you stated, Brunson, that kid
Nice.
coming from the Mavericks to the Knicks, that was probably the best move that we have seen them make in at least a decade. In
Right.
at least a decade, to
Yeah.
be quite honest with you. And but Julius Randle, the guy to me is not a superstar in this league. He's a really good number two, but I also feel like Brunson is not a number one. So they still need that number one to emerge. RJ Barrett is not the guy. By this time, he should be in All-Star games talk. He should be the face of that franchise, especially as high as he was drafted. And the truth is that right now, the Knicks don't deserve to be talked about. They did win a game. That's really nice. There's 82 of them. Win more of them and win more of them in convincing fashion against teams that are playing at high levels. Again, Minnesota, we've talked about them in previous episodes. They are playing at a high, and the Knicks did beat that team, but there's really nothing to talk about here. Even the broken clock is right twice a day. So good job for the Knicks. I'll also give you a clap up. Good job. You won 1 out of 82 games, but you're still not there, in my mind, to even really discuss in further length, to be quite honest with you. And I know we have a whole bunch of Knicks fans who are friends of ours. And again, it's been a very long time since we always go back and forth in our little banter with them. But let's press the brake a little bit. Nothing really to talk about here. So what you got? You ready for us to move on to the next segment? You feel good with that?
Yeah, we're good. We are good. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. That's what we're talking about right now. So Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett got he's gonna keep the headphones on.
On the sideline.
Mason
basically.
Rudolph is starting. What does this look like, or what does this say for the future? Or are they just saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's keep you safe, or let's not risk further injury." What is Pittsburgh saying right now?
I would love to know what Tomlin now is thinking, or what type of messages he's sending to his team, because you need to have a clear answer with what you have at the quarterback position. And right now, you're not sending the right message, because me as a head coach, you're healthy, I'm playing you. Yes, I will be playing you. Yes, I will be evaluating your play, because I want to see if you're the guy going for next season, going on to next season. And it really, for me, is a head scratcher what Mike Tomlin is doing today. Very, very a head scratcher. You got to find out what you have in this quarterback. You need to see if this is it, if this is the guy that's going to lead you and your franchise next season. Mason Rudolph, we know he's a backup. He's a career backup. He is a career backup. I don't know what message Mike Tomlin is sending. Is I'm confused right now. I'm like very confused. I'm looking up I'm like I don't know. As a Pixel Steelers fan, I want to know like what they think. Like please comment in the line below in our channel because we want to think like we want to. What do you guys think? Mason Rudolph is a career backup.
Well, what do you guys think? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it's very clear. I have no idea why you're confused right now. I have no idea why you're confused. Mike Tomlin, the statement is that he's making is Kenny Pickett is not the guy. That's the statement that he's
That's
making.
what it's looking like.
His statement is we've seen enough of you already. Now, if Mason Rudolph can come in here and galvanize these troops, if he can come in here and get a whole bunch of guys behind him, and if we can get this guy to have these players play at a higher level than you have throughout the entire season, then we are done with you, my friend. That's the message that he's seen enough of Pickett already. He don't need no other game to see what Pickett's got. He said we've seen enough. That's what Mike Tomlin is saying. No confusion necessary. We have seen enough, young man. You seem like you are not getting it. It seems like you are not meshing because, again, these receivers that they have,
They're good.
Pat Freiermuth at tight end, he's no slouch. George Pickens, he's no slouch. Deontay Johnson, he's no slouch. These are weapons. You know what I mean? Young weapons, nonetheless, there's still some development. There's still some growth that needs to happen there. But how are you going to grow with a guy who is not seeing the game at the speed that Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers need? Now, again, we can go towards the offensive coordinator. Yes. Canada, no bueno. We get all that. We get all that. You know what I mean? But Kenny Pickett, we've seen what Justin Herbert can do. Yes, I will also say when it comes to coaching and all of that, Justin Herbert doesn't have the support that he needs. I will say that. But you can see that this kid can play football. You can see Justin Herbert can play football just off of raw talent, just off of the eye test. You can see he has a strong arm. He has fairly good accuracy, and you know what I mean, those types of things based on good coaching can get even better. This kid Kenny Pickett, on the other hand, you don't see anything that you necessarily write home about. You don't see anything that knocks your socks off. At this point, I think that Mike Tomlin is making it very clear that he lost his job and that this is probably not the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now he just wants to see whether or not somebody else can come in here and do something with the talent that they have around them. And I think he's seen enough out of Kenny Pickett. I'm going to be honest. I think that's the message that he's sending. What do you think?
We should find out.
Do you think that that's a possibility?
That's a possibility. Of course, it's a possibility. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, me and you, we have spoken about this before in this channel. Like, that we don't think that he's the answer based on our eye test. We just do not see that he's the answer, and them taking him on, it very much surprised me because these Steelers, they know how to draft quarterbacks. You know, they have had their fairly good quarterbacks for a long time in this franchise. And them getting Pickett out of Pittsburgh, I never saw anything special from Pickett in college. Never.
Well, what I will say,
I saw Herbert. I saw some of these cats play college.
What I will say is when it comes to Pittsburgh, I see Pittsburgh as being a city where you need a quarterback who can also semi run the ball because that's basically what you're built off of. You're
Yeah.
built off of defense, and then you're built off of running the football. But then you also need a quarterback who, when it comes down to it, can get you those 3rd down and 4, 3rd down and 3 in case he needs to leave the pocket. And Pickett doesn't really have that athleticism. I've seen Cordell Stewart, of course. I'm dating myself. Back in the day, he was able to do that. He was able to at least support with the, hey, let's move the chains by being able to pick up a 1st down, bootleg. Ben Roethlisberger, of course, early Ben Roethlisberger was also kind of like, he was an older version of what we see in Josh Allen now in Buffalo.
Correct.
A guy who
Yeah.
can get out of the pocket and he can make things happen with his legs. They had Charlie Batch before that for a short period of time. Also a quarterback who could, hey, you know what? I don't see anything. I can get out of the pocket and I can get us some 1st downs in this tough Pittsburgh swirling winds out here. I don't see that in Kenny Pickett. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see that in Kenny Pickett. This guy's not athletic enough. He's a statue back there. This guy's not getting you a 3rd down and 4 with his legs. This dude's ducking defensive linemen and going down for a loss of 6 on 3rd down and 4. That's what's happening with this kid. Come on, I think.
And he's gonna find his way out next season, in my opinion. That's what he's gonna find his way out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he can't escape the rush, and he's not gonna escape this one either. Trust me. Yeah, his time is up, and I think Mike Tomlin is already at that point where he believes the same. All right, so moving on. Hey, this has been something that I've been waiting to talk about. So Eagles meltdown. They lose to the Cardinals, who will not be in the playoffs this year.
Who are 4-12, by the way.
35-31, last minute touchdown by Kyler Murray. Who was it that they tossed to? Doesn't matter. They lose the game in disappointing fashion. What is to be made of the struggles? And I say recent struggles, but this has been a long time that the Eagles have been reeling. What is happening here? What's happening in the brother?
Well, basically, the Eagles defense made kind of look like Tom Brady back there, slicing them up. He was just slicing them up. They score on all of their possessions. The Cardinals, I mean, in the second half, my friend. Matt Patricia, Sean Desai, you name it, they don't have an answer. They just do not have an answer. I think the Eagles' trenches are playing this year very poor. They cannot stop anyone, dude. They just cannot. They cannot stop anyone at these days. They cannot stop. They cannot stop no one. They cannot stop no one. I mean, Jalen Hurts like 3 touchdowns is not bad. 3 touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. Now, I would love for them to run the ball a little bit more often. You know, but like it's amazing where the Eagles stand today. I think they're gonna be one and done in the playoffs. The way it's looking like they don't have they cannot play defense. Disappointed in my Georgia boys, Jalen Carter and Jesse Davis. They haven't done nothing this year. Jalen Carter, for being drafted very high, has not lived up to his draft stock. Super sorry. I think the Eagles position coaches this year have done a horrible job at coaching this team, especially on the defense side of the ball. Offensive wise, dude, you scored 31 points, man. What else do you want? I cannot blame the offense this time around. I just can't. The Eagles' defense is just this bad, and they are going to be this bad in the playoffs. Nothing is going to change because they have the same people calling plays. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're just bad, dude. Their defense is horrible, man. Horrible.
I'm gonna again as I love all of the points. The team overall is just not that good. All right, so just like we do every single week, we do a "What's on Your Mind" segment. Manny, talk to us. What's going on? What's on your mind?
More talk about something that has been going on in college for like the past couple of seasons that I'm very worried about, and that college football should do something very, very drastically to change this. Basically, this is like about like the transfer portal that they're having now in college and the NILs, things like this, things like that. I meant. So basically, if you don't make the playoffs, let's say if you don't make the top 14s and you're not playing for a national championship game, and let's say you are a quarterback that wants to transfer to another school, and let's say you're gonna play, let's say in a bowl game, let's say like the Rose Bowl, you're not gonna play because when the season ends, I'm not gonna play because I'm gonna transfer from school. So basically, what you're watching is basically a backup quarterback playing in a college bowl game. I'm not used to that. Like I was watching a game now recently, Georgia against FSU, where a lot of those players were in the transfer portal or they were about to enter like the draft. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play. So I think that draft portal should be after like the season, will be after the season, and you need to obey your scholarship. If you are supposed to play for a team for those 12 or 13 games, you need to play for those 12, 13 games. Okay, if you're not going to come back to the school the following season, you still need to play. There's still football to be played, and you have to honor your scholarship. And I don't know what the college football is going to do because I'm going to stop watching bowl games then. If your team does not make the playoffs, why should I watch your bowl game if you're probably your starting quarterback or your starting receiver that might go to the NFL or might transfer? I'm not gonna play. I'm just not gonna play. So why should I watch you then? Why? This is something that really bothers me. That this season of bowl games really bother me, and I didn't like that. As a big college football fan, I was not happy with that. I was not happy with that. You need to obey your contract or your in this case your scholarship. If you sign up, if you ink on that scholarship, you need to play for that team till the final game of the season. That's what's on my mind for this week.
I'll piggyback off that. In all honesty, that's not something that we're used to seeing. It's not something that we're used to seeing. When you've got Marvin Harrison Jr. sitting on the sidelines,
I
um,
was very sick, dude, to my stomach. I was
yeah,
very sick.
this is it's, and I get it. It's not for national championships or anything like that, but it does impact the brand and impact because what's the point at that? What's the point? If these bowl games are not going to be competitive, if the players don't even want to play in the bowl games anymore, what's the point? What's the
Then,
point?
then, then don't have it then. Then don't have bowl games then. That's it. Just have the so next year that there's gonna be 12 teams now. Wipe out all the ball games then. That is what college football. Well, that's an idea that I will present to college football. Eliminate all the ball games because if I'm gonna be watching backups, why should
What's
I
the point?
watch?
Yeah,
What's
what's
the
the
point? I want to watch a good product on the field. This game was lopsided, like 63 to something, like what 10 in the nine. It was so lopsided that even the Georgia Kirby Smart, that Georgia head coach, he came on and said this like college football is broken. Then they need to fix this system. It needs to be fixed.
yeah,
Or guess what? I'm not gonna watch no ball games myself. Then I'm gonna go straight into the playoffs. Then I'm gonna watch playoff teams play. And then all of you guys that are going to play in ball games, you get wiped out, taken out of the equation. I'm not going to watch you. I'm not going to watch you.
I don't think if it's not competitive, if you're not seeing the players that help get them to the bowl game, if you don't see the players that help get them to the bowl game in the bowl game, there's no point in the bowl game.
Like that Ohio State game, like it's like you said, no Marvin Harrison, no McCord, the starting quarterback that helped you get there. You had the backup playing, the backup. No, I don't
cancel
want to
the
watch
game.
that.
Cancel the
Cancel
game.
the game, dude. I don't want to watch that, man.
All right, so here goes another weekly segment that we have. We have our game ball of the week. Who are you giving yours to?
Oh man, I was going through, man, my notes on this one, man. Dude, I'm gonna have to give it to Lamar Jackson, even though he killed us. 5 touchdown passes. I mean, what can I say, dude? You killed us. You killed my team, man. You just killed us. Gotta give it to him, man. He's the best quarterback right now in the NFL. Mad props to you, Lamar Jackson, that kid out of Florida. Mad props for you, man. Keep it going, man.
Product out of Florida by way of Louisville. Wasn't that?
Louisville. That's his school. Yeah, he went to Louisville.
Yeah. So yeah, Florida boy going to Louisville, doing his thing, representing himself for his own contract, getting the bag. Lamar Jackson, that's a really good one. I'm gonna go with Kyren Williams. He had 3 touchdowns this past weekend. He had 87 yards rushing for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm giving it to him, not just because of the week that he had. Our fantasy season is over. I ended up runner-up. I ended up second place. But Kyren Williams was the reason for the season for me. He was a great pickup for me in week 2, and he continued to ball out. He did his thing, got me 30 fantasy points this past weekend. I want to shout out my guy, Kyren Williams, for balling his behind off this season. Well done. You get my game ball, homie, and my game ball for my fantasy season. Appreciate you.
Good. Well said. Well said, man. That's good.
Hey, you know I gotta shout out my guy, man. He's been holding it down for me. So you know what I mean? I gotta look out for him. So as we do every single week as well, at least for the NFL season, we do our top 5 NFL teams for now. It's Manny's turn to do it this week. Who do you have? Don't disappoint me, man. Don't disappoint me. You disappointed me a couple of weeks, man. So I'm just kidding. Do your thing. It's on you.
All right, number 5. I got the Detroit Lions. Even though that they lost, I know they lost this past week, but they should have won. Me and you know deep down that they should have won. I got the Lions at number 5. Number 4, and I'm scared of this team because we play them this upcoming weekend. Got the Bills. Got the Bills at number 4, man. Josh Allen, I'm scared of that guy. And I got number 3. I got the Browns, man. The Browns.
Wow, the Browns made an appearance. Hold on.
The Browns have made an appearance with Joe Flacco on my top list. They have made an appearance. It looks like if every time that I watch them, they're winning. That's how it's looking like this day for the Browns. And number 2, I got the 49ers, and we all know who I have number 1, the Ravens. The most dangerous team to today in the NFL.
Come on.
I got the Ravens number 1.
Come on, man. You knocked the Dolphins out of the top 5. You put the Browns in over the Dolphins.
Dude, I just like their defense, dude. The Browns defense is stingy as hell this year. They are stingy, man. And Flacco, dude, he's just finding he's Joe Flacco is performing this year, man. Since he signed with the Browns.
Now, because I know we don't have much time. So you put the Bills and the Browns over your Dolphins. Is that what I'm hearing right now?
With a depleted roster that we have today, I'm talking about our depleted roster. With minus Phillips, minus Bradley Chubb, the Dolphins took a big nosedive on defense, in my opinion. They're not going to generate pressure no more in the playoffs. They're not going to generate. Who's going to generate pressure for Nick Chubb and Phillips? Who's going to step up?
All
I
right.
just don't. And then I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen when you don't generate pressure up front. Guess who gets exposed after? Your DBs. They will be running for their lives coming up in this next couple of weeks. I mean, you can only scheme up so much. Vic Fangio can only scheme up so. You can only scheme up something, Adam. So much. No pressure. Good luck. Good. That's how. Do you remember like that Giants being Tom Brady? Do you remember like how they did it? You remember, right? Applying pressure.
All right.
January. That's how you win games.
All right. So we'll leave it at that. I will. Okay. All right.
Remember what I'm telling you about the Browns.
We'll see how
You
it goes.
remember.
We'll see how it goes next week. So this is the NFL picks for Week 18. Let's go through it. Like I said, I'm gonna come up with the tally, and I'll have that tally for us next week to see how we're doing overall. Because all of this is recorded, of course. We understand that. So I'm gonna have something for us next week to see how we're doing over the season. We're gonna start this week with Browns and Bengals. You've already put the Browns in your top 5.
So you know who I have now? Browns again. I'm on the Browns bandwagon these days.
All right, I'm going Browns as well. Texans at Colts. The Colts have been
Man,
moving
the
under
Colts
the
are
radar
winning,
this year, huh?
man. The Colts are winning these days, man.
Under the radar, Papo.
Man. I'm gonna go with the Colts, man. On this one. Let's see if Garner Minshew can come through for me.
I'm going Texans in that one.
All right.
Bills, Dolphins. You already put these guys in your top 5. What are we doing right now? You picked the Ravens last week. What do you is your team gonna win the division? Yes or no? That's the question.
I want to say no, man. I just do not trust that defense with these two guys out. It's gonna be very hard. And he might not even play. And Stefan Diggs went bug wild the last time that he faced us. He went bug wild.
So
If
say
Vic Fangio, I have a message for Vic Fangio. If you do not shadow Stefan Diggs with Jalen Ramsey, it's going to be a long day again.
so
They
say
will put a 40. They will put a 40.
so say it out loud. Who's your pick?
I'm calling out Vic Fangio. And because of this, how I know, you know what? I want to give the edge to the Dolphins. I want to give the edge.
You're
Because
gonna go
Mike McDaniels, my coach, is going to run the ball. He's going to pound the ball this upcoming Sunday.
at home.
Monster and a chain will get 30 carries combined. 30 carries.
So at home, you're picking your
By a field goal, the Dolphins. By a field goal.
all right.
By a field goal.
I'm gonna go opposite of that. Let's just go Bills just for the sake of
Okay.
television. Rams 49ers. It's a pretty good game. I know you're high on the Rams right now, but
Where's the game going to be at?
that's gonna be in Santa Clara, my friend. The same place where the Ravens beat up on them 2 weeks
A couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna give that nod to the 49ers this time around.
I
I
agree.
have to. I have to give them the nod. I think they'll come out playing good this time around against the Rams.
I agree. 49ers for me as well. So, my people, sorry for any of the technical difficulties. We do appreciate it. This is the nature of this business. Sometimes you're going to have audio issues. Sometimes you're going to have video issues. Sometimes, like today, you're going to have both. But you know what we are? We're resilient. This is Club 50 Sports, and we push through. That's what we do. Manny, talk to your people, man. What should they do?
Guys, you know what you do, man. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button as we had a little bit of technical difficulties. But again, it's like Adam said, it comes with the territory of the business. But again, we're here. We are going to be here every single week every single Tuesday at this time. So please subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you all next week.
Ain't no quitting us. I'll see you later. People, we appreciate y'all. Thank you. We love you. Manny, talk to you soon, my brother. You have a good night.
You too, sir. Take care.